before I pass you on to the lovely Melissa. And then we're going to have a discussion on the theme of the power of community, connection, and vulnerability, which I'm really looking forward to. So first of all, I want to start talking about light and dark. So these are two things that we use to describe the good and the bad things in life. The happy things like joy, friendship, love, connection, and the difficult things like suffering, pain, grief. And these are all things that we all go through in life. And for those of you who haven't experienced mental health struggles, it's something that is very difficult. It can be a literal living hell at times. And there are many people in the world who have been through this. It's a horrible experience. But even for those of you who haven't struggled with mental illness and your mental health, we all have mental health and we all struggle at times through life. We all kind of get ill, we get hurt at times, we all go through various different things. And it's in those times that our light can feel like it fades. It's difficult. Those are the difficult times, the times when we really need other people to help illuminate our way, to bring their own light to us, their support. And this is what I want Union to do in the world. Our logo, if you haven't seen it or noticed it, is what I like to call the Union Sun. It's a representation of the sun and light and wellness. And I designed it myself deliberately to be a representation of what I want Union to be, which is a source of healing in the world. And I came up with Union during the pandemic because I wanted connection. I wanted to have the light of other people. I felt lonely. I felt kind of lost and like I didn't have a community anymore. So I tried looking for a community. I went to the usual suspects, Instagram, Facebook, those kind of places online to find people who I felt were like me. And I just couldn't find people easily. And I realized this is a problem for millions of us. How do you make friends and find a community, make a community when you can't find people like yourself? And that's when the idea for Union was born. And I shelved it for 2 years. I didn't know how to do this. It was a big undertaking. I realized I can't do this alone. But 2 years ago, I decided that it was something so compelling that I had to do it. And I've dedicated myself to making Union ever since. And we just managed to complete our app a couple of weeks ago, and we're on the app stores now, which is a wonderful feeling to be able to see that we managed to do it. And I've managed to assemble a team of 25 brilliant people, really kind and fantastic people who have brought me their light into my life and made my life better. And in doing so, I hope we manage to make other people's lives better and to support the world. That's what we're all about at Union. So I've done a lot of talking about what Union is and myself. Now I want to welcome Melissa. So Melissa is a friend of mine, and she was, well, someone who I met, well, not long before I decided to undertake Union. Melissa is a poet and a writer and someone whose work I connected with. I love poetry, and I'm 33 now, but I think I've been writing poetry since I was 17, so 15 years. I've written a lot of poetry. I just don't really share it. But Melissa knows my poetry and what I'm about, and I've very much connected with Melissa's work. And yeah, you were one of the first people when I was looking for people to connect with in the world who I felt like, oh yeah, there's a person like me who kind of understands me and who's a kindred like me. And so I'm very happy that you decided to come and be part of our launch event, Melissa. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to kind of thank you for giving me that kind of hope of realizing that there's good people in the world. And ever since finding you, Melissa, I found many other fantastic, great people who've given me hope and made me feel good. So you wrote something, I can't remember when, because I've read a lot of your poetry, Melissa, but you wrote something, it was in Spanish, but a loose translation is, you wrote something like life lives out there outside, but what truly trembles lives inside. And I love that line. It's something I think about all the time. And it's a good representation of what it is to be human and to have all of these feelings and thoughts and bring light to those feelings and thoughts is what I feel that poetry does, and I hope that union does as well. So Melissa's written a poem especially for this event, and yeah, I want to pass on the torch to you now, Melissa, for you to introduce yourself and to recite your poem. Thank you, everyone.
So much. Thank you so much, Simon, for saying such beautiful words. Well, like he said, I wrote this poem, which is called "The Light Always Returns to the Light." And this is a reminder that we can always come back to ourselves and become who we really are, no matter how many dark times or obscure circumstances we go through. There is this, I believe, unchangeable light in us that is always intact and we can always recover, no matter how far on the journey we are of life. I believe we humans are pure light and consciousness, and this poem reflects this reality. Art is for me this way to express feelings and to really recover who I really am. And I'm sure Unaeon is going to become this path towards light for a lot of people. So I wanted to share this poem with you. So here's the poem. Darkness is only absence of illumination and never the other way around. Riches have led me too far. I have crossed my multitudes and exposed my denuded side to the lack of understanding of the brightness. Everything should be easier, like staying at home when the sun goes down, like staying in myself when everything else piles up and drowns me. I have understood how perfection does not need understanding. It is a measure beyond all reach, paradise in my eyes, and I want to cultivate love as the light cares for the earth, no matter how far from its center, caressing the edges so that they never collapse, to always expand. Now, after the storm that has completely shaken my life and my bones and my stars and my souls, I keep looking at the fragments that did not fall but tried to, on the way home, which is my heart, which is my soul. I write about light because it is the only thing that I have ever known. And what I try to convey to others is that there is a vision of relief when I lie down and my eyes imagine golden figures as I set out on the journey. And my hands do not tire, and they turn at the same time. And I smile as a sign to all that is within me that it's still alive. The light always returns to the light, no matter how far it seems to deviate. That's it. Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. I loved your poem, and I've loved your poetry for a very long time, and it's a real honor that you would show up for us here to recite one of your poems. So thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. Okay, we're going to launch into our discussion now. So the lovely Komal will be facilitating. But first of all, I just want to introduce the members of our panel, or have you introduce yourselves even? You'll do a much better job of introducing yourselves than I will. I'm going to go in random order. Okay, so since Rohini is like right close to me here in the order, you're up, Rohini. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi. Thank you so much, Simon, for letting me go first. Thank you so much. And hi, everybody. This is Rohini Manchanda, and I guess the best introduction about myself is just this, that I am here to advocate for mental health awareness. And this is what I do the best, because mental health awareness is so much important to me. When I was growing up, I was sort of, I've always been very strong and independent sort of a person, but every time, when I did something good, I was labeled as a boy. Oh, you did good thing like a boy. You're a man. You did this thing like a man. You're not a woman. And I thought like being a woman was some sort of a curse, that why can't we women do the right thing, that why are we labeled as men when we're doing the best thing. And that turned me into that I wanted to break that stereotype, and I wanted to create a dialogue where people appreciate how people are. And that's what made me get into sociology, human behavior. And I started studying and became a talk therapist. So I'm a mental health counselor because of this, and I've been advocating for it for a long time now. It's been 8 years. And also last year, I got an opportunity to be a TED speaker. So TEDx, I was at a TEDx wherein I spoke about the PMS rule, because of course I think that nothing in this world can change if at all you're able to, believe in yourself and break the stereotypes. What comes your way? So that's just me. And I live in India, and been able to, provide a lot of sessions in India during COVID times. I think it was my fate that I completed my studies back in 2019, so I could help a lot in pandemic. But it made me really, really sad to see that there are, so many people that can't really tell their families, that they couldn't really tell their families that they were into therapy, because it's such a big taboo here in our country, mainly in Asia, I would say. But I'm sure the communities like this, and like Union, of course. Simon, thank you so much for this initiative. So I think this kind of community, we need more people like this to, create that awareness, and people would come up and change this for everyone, So that's all.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rohini, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time today to be part of our panel. Okay, I'm going to go to Dr. Sai now. Thank you for being here, Dr. Sai. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Very good evening. I'm Dr. Sai Joshi. Thank you for inviting me here. I am a clinical psychologist, and I work with a private hospital in North London. I'm also founder of AYUDA Mind Care, which is a company for mental health based in India, and I have some of my colleagues here. Coming to the launch event, I feel connection with people is the biggest power. As far as I am concerned personally, I feel that connecting with people and having that bond is what makes us humans very special. And that's where the power lies in healing. If you're looking for, I've been working in this field for almost more than 8 years now, 6 years back in India, 2 years abroad. And we keep saying that it's like this in India and it's like that back in Asia, but I feel humans are humans, and connection is what makes us more human. So thank you, Simon. This is a wonderful initiative. I've tried being on Union already, and I think it's going to be one of the most interesting experiences.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to be here, Dr. Sai. I'm looking forward to our discussion. I totally agree with what you said. The need for connection is what unites us all, no matter where we're from and who we are. So I'm looking forward to discussing that more in a moment. I'm just going to, so Komal, since you're facilitating, I'm going to leave you to last so that you can jump off and begin the discussion. But before that, Kavi, how's it going, Kavi?
All good, all good. Thank you so much.
I'm going to try and oh good, it's brought you to the front now. That's great. I can see you.
Okay.
Thank you for being here, Kavi. I know
Thank you.
you haven't been well the past days, so I really appreciate you showing up, and I hope you're feeling better. And yes, please introduce yourself.
Okay. Thank you so much, Simon. So I was just like listening to all of you introduce yourself, and there were just a couple of points that I captured which kind of related with me. You know, when Melissa was talking about the darkness and how the darkness is a pretty long journey, and then when you cannot see lightness, but then irrespective of where the journey takes, you still light is still there. All you do is wait for it. And again, Rohini was talking about the mental health advocacy and how we need to break the stereotype. And Sai was talking about the connection. You know, if there's one thing that I connected with everything, is all of these were a part of my journey. So just to give a small brief about me, hi, I'm Kavi. So I've been in a journey where about almost for about 2 years, I was diagnosed with clinical depression and BPD. And through the journey, of talking about the breaking stereotypes, coming from India, the stereotype and stigma around mental health is a very huge thing. And that place is a very, very difficult spot. And, during one of the conversations with Simon, was telling him, the thing is that in a lot of places, the pain or the struggle is glorified. You don't talk about it. And if you're someone who struggled a lot, then you've done something great. But why do we have to struggle? Why do we have to endure the pain? Why should we go through all of it all alone? And battling uh, depression or any of the other mental illness is not an easy journey. And to be honest, it's a very lonely journey, irrespective of having 100 people who might be right there next to you to support you. And through that journey for about almost 1.5 years, I didn't have the right help from a therapist. And right now, I would say I'm one of the privileged and lucky ones to get the right help to be here today talking to all of you. So, through all that, I just realized that how much stigma we have around it. And even a person who's suffering does not understand that they're suffering for a long time. So, through the time when, the darkness is all that you can see, I mean, makes you that you cannot see any of it, the little ray of hope that you get at some point is all that you need. So that's how I started working on Unsilence. Unsilence is a brand that I'm trying to build, and that's how I unsilence myself, is what I would say. When there is a lot of stigma associated to it, where you just have to keep silence, why not unsilence? Because one of the biggest thing that could happen to someone who's suffering is when they can start talking about it, not to the world, but to themselves first. And the stories not just gives you power, but also gives thousands of other people who might listen to the story. So it's starting off as one of my dream, and hopefully it comes out as millions of, I mean, comes out for millions of other dreams of other people in the world. So yeah.
That was lovely, Kavi. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that, and thank you for taking the time to be here. And last but not least, our lovely facilitator of the conversation, Komal. Please introduce yourself.
Hello. How lovely to hear everybody's introduction. Um, one thing before I start introducing myself, I love how all of y'all who stepped into the space of mental health have a personal story attached to it, and that is where you actually started talking about your work as well. That just tells us how connected we actually are. And it's always a journey. It comes from actually recognizing something and then coming to terms with it, then accepting and then spreading it outwards. Um, but lovely, and Simon included. That is how he introduced himself as well, um, right? But I come from a little different background, different backstory. I was a complete science student, PCM, physics, math, chemistry. Uh, I was actually going to pursue aviation. It was only my curiosity about psychology and just studying it as a subject that actually led me to be in psychology. But I was a full, like, I love math, I love physics. So I was like a full 100% blown science student. But here I am. I'm currently in my master's in applied psychology in Mumbai at NMIMS. And a little bit about myself, I enjoy reading, writing, solving puzzles. I will read up about anything because if I'm curious about it, and I am mostly curious about everything, I just want to know why. I just want to know how. I want to know why. Um, but yeah, and I know Simon since last year. He connected with me on LinkedIn, I believe, and that is how the conversation started. He told me about what they were doing, and I absolutely love the idea. So I've been on board since last year. As a community outreach specialist, we write blogs, which is there watching Union grow, per se, from where it was last year and to the entire excitement that, oh, it's going to launch in May, oh, it's going to launch in June, and finally it has launched. And I'm so glad that it has because what a beautiful concept. Um, and yeah, I will be facilitating today's conversation, today's panel. Lovely to know all of you, Dr. Sai, Rohini, and Kavi. Um, Simon, is there any way that we could put actually like have them all in one frame? Oh yeah, we can
Yeah,
spotlight them for everybody. Great.
yeah, yes, I'm just going to try and
Um,
do that right now, and hopefully this will work. I'll
Perfect.
see if it happens. If we can get, yes, we can. Excellent.
Great.
Great. Spotlight. Okay, and we just need to add Dr. Sai there, and well, myself. Oh dear, putting myself in the spotlight. I don't want to do it. Okay, I should be spotlighted too, I think. Fantastic. Right, we're all set up and ready to go. Take it away, Kamal.
Great. Okay. So, coincidentally, the first thing that we're gonna do is play a little bit of a game. It's called Spotlight. All of us who are on the panel right now, strangers, right? We don't know a lot about each other. Just big.
Am I the only one who's not hearing
How it goes?
Komal? Sorry, am I
Hello.
the only one who's
Am I
not able to
audible
hear
now?
Komal properly? Yeah, it's better now. Thank you.
Better? Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so I was saying that we're gonna play a game called Spotlight. How the game goes is we put one person in the spotlight, and all of us, the four other people who are not in the spotlight, we have to compliment the person who's in the spotlight. So because I run a lot of circles, I have a page of my own. This is something that we do in all of our meetings. Why? Two reasons. One, because a lot of times we like taking compliments from strangers. We like it when somebody compliments us, especially strangers, people who know us. We're like, okay, yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know why you're complimenting me. Do you need something or what? But anyway, that's one reason. And the second reason is most of us don't know actually how to accept a compliment. So this sort of soothes us in, breaks the ice, builds a little bit of rapport. Yeah. So let's start by perhaps putting Simon in the spotlight so that all of us get into the zone. And then Simon will put somebody else into the spotlight. So that's how it goes.
Oh
Yeah, so it can
wow.
come to you anytime. There's no like written rule or anything. Perfect.
Okay,
Okay.
let's
So starting
let's
with
feel
Simon.
let's feel awkward. Please compliment me.
Wow, that's nice. Let me start by complimenting you. I love how you take initiative, be it for anything. It's not just about union, but I've seen how on our group chats you're always taking initiative for little things. If there's a festival, there's New Year, you will always be like, oh, let's do something like this. Let's have a meeting. Let's celebrate. Let's put a post on this. So I love how initiative. Um, I love all the initiatives that you take. So that's from my end.
Thank you. Thanks, Kamal.
Please go.
Can I go next?
Yes, please.
So far, I've had like a very few conversations with Simon, but listening to him today, It was a very humbling experience to listen to him. And I feel he should be a very humble human being. That's the vibe I get from him today. So that's my compliment. Thank you.
It's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
So nice. Kavi, do you want to go next?
No, please go ahead.
All right. Actually, I totally agree with Dr. Sai, because not just humble, I mean, it's very kind. The aura, I think, and the aura is very, very positive. I can feel the energy when you talk. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty, I think it's pretty, what do you call it? It's very, it spreads. It just spreads. When you talk, the humbleness and the kindness, it shows. So it's pretty nice, Simon. And thank you for making it. And I have a compliment for all of you as well. First, if you guys allow me, if that would not break the rules.
We'll get to everybody else's compliments eventually.
I'm going to give everybody the personal compliment for sure. But the one compliment that I think of all after hearing everybody is that you all are warriors. Because when someone goes through something, there are two options. There are two choices that one can make. One is to kind of, just be down with it and not talk about it, and then, not heal about it as well. And some would heal from it as well, but not just heal themselves, but try to heal the world. So there are very few people in this world that I would say that would be a warrior, that would just try to not just work on themselves, but also make this world a better place to live. So you all are warriors, I would say, and I'm really happy to have met you all.
Likewise.
You are too, Rohini. Thank you so much. That was a very nice thing to say.
Okay, Simon, I just wanted to go last. Both of us, one thing that both of us always do is let's compliment each other so that we actually start taking compliments.
Oh, you're gonna hate this. Kobe finds it very hard to take any compliments at all. I think the very first time I ever spoke to you, I complimented you, and you were just gone. You were running away, trying to hide.
I wasn't expecting the first one to be this difficult for me. Okay, now it's about you, Simon. Okay, something different from what everyone told. The red sweater looks really good on you.
Thank you.
And it's been a couple of months since I knew Simon, and from the very first moment that both of us met, we just knew that we were just so like-minded, and we were there with the same vision. And it wasn't an easy journey for him here. One thing that Komal was saying is the number of times, we're going to have this launch this day, and then the next month, and the next month. And there have been a lot of ups and downs. And through it all, you stood there. Being someone standing there as a single founder trying to make it happen, one of the biggest thing is the motivation. You don't have a push all the time. Simon made sure to push himself and push the team and, build a community. And today, all of us are here, Simon, it's just because you've already started building the community of Union, the union that all of us are here. So, yeah. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Kavi.
So
That was
Simon,
really
who do you
kind
want
of
to
you.
pass the spotlight to?
I don't know. I haven't thought this through. I was too busy feeling awkward. I don't know. I'm gonna go at random. Well, actually, let's pass it right back to you, Komal. Since you came up with this, let's go right to you. Okay, I'm gonna start then. I really appreciate about you, Komal, that your tenacity, I think, is the right word. It's you're always experimenting with trying different things and engaging with people. I love how you're trying to connect with people. You do all kinds of wonderful interviews, and you do a fantastic job. I admire that. I admire that kind of spirit you have and tenacity of wanting to be out there in the world and connect with people and share that with people and help people. It's really lovely to see. I find it inspiring myself.
Thank
So,
you so
yeah.
much.
So can I go?
Yes, please.
This is the first time I'm actually having like a conversation with Komal, and she seems like this energy ball, a ball of energy who's like, just let's do this, start, and that's full of energy and full of life. So it's just beautiful to see that.
Can I go
Yeah.
next? Do you want to go, Rohini?
No, please go ahead. I was just going to say
All
that
right.
you're on mute. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So listening to Komal's intro, it made me feel so interested in this person that I would love to hang around
Oh, wow.
with Komal. I mean, I would love to. And also, she connected me with when I was back doing my master's. So I could relate to a person growing so beautifully at that stage of her life. You're doing amazing. Great. Keep going.
Wow,
That,
lovely.
that is so nice. All right. So I would say, of course, I haven't had a chance to speak to you before this, Komal, but I think as soon as I saw you, there's a charm that you have, and the way you just came up with this complimenting thing, and I really appreciate you coming up with this thing, because that's one of the lines and one of the things that I actually advocate about. That people actually don't know how to react when they get complimented. They are like, no, it's fine. Like, hey, no, I'm just fine. But you just have to own it. You just have to own it and say thank you. And mostly women, we don't even get to, we are like, oh my god, how do we take this? Oh my god, is he flirting with us, or is it like what intentions? So I think let's simplify it. Let's just do this up and out there and then compliment people. So you have this beautiful charm around you, Komal, and keep it up, man. It's really very nice.
Thank you so much. How lovely. Uh, Good motivation. I have papers starting tomorrow, so
Wow.
that's nice for me.
All the very
Uh,
best.
Thank you so much. And I'm gonna pass on the spotlight to Kavi because she seems unprepared.
I'm always unprepared for this.
I feel like I would like to start since I know Kavi the best. And I'm looking forward to seeing how awkward that you're going to be during this moment. Um, so something I admire many things about Kavi, and one of the things is how supportive and kind you are. And even before this meeting, we were messaging a little bit, and I was saying I felt a little bit nervous, and she said to me, I'm here if you want to call, if you want someone to talk to before the event, and etc. So Kavi is very supportive and kind, and I admire your willingness to help others and to how do I express it, to to help others to speak out. It's I connected randomly with Kofi a few months ago when I was just reaching out to people to get some potential feedback and use this for our app when we were kind of testing things. And I found that we shared the same mission, and it's been really great getting to know you, Kofi, and to have you as part of our team as well. So, and you're doing very well at taking this compliment. So well done with that as well, Kavi. I'll
Thank
pass on the
you.
torch to someone else now.
All right. May I go next? So the first thing when I saw you is your smile is so contagious. How is it so possible? Like your smile is really contagious. You just smile like, and it just shines like a moon. Like that you want to smile when after he's looking at you. Oh my God! Look, like I mean, you just let me see your smile while I say this, Kavi.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's really nice because you have a lot of energy in you, because the way you talk, the way you bring out the stuff that you actually spoke about, the story that you went through as well. But again, as I said earlier, that you're a warrior for sure. But with that smile on, then Rani ki Jhansi definitely for sure, I would say. So keep at it and then keep smiling like this, because of course, not just for yourself, and people are going to get attracted and they're going to get, that smiley all by looking at you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, a couple of compliments for Kavi. Are you ready for that, Kavi?
I think I'll never be ready for it. So please.
Yes, okay. So first thing first, the way you were brave enough to admit in the beginning that you have been through so much, that's courage. It takes a lot to voice that, yes, I've been through this. Yeah. And I'm not very sure of what Unsilence does, or specifically what is the purpose behind it, but you come out as a person who can stand strong for whatever cause that your service is going to help people, and you look like an evolved person. You've been through it, and you know what you're doing. Yeah, that's for you.
Thank you so much.
I have a little different compliment. I feel like she would be the friend. If anything goes wrong with any of her friends, she would be the first person to be like, no, go, stand up for yourself. Or if they're not ready to stand up for themselves, I feel like she is the first person to stand up for anybody that she's close to. I don't know, I got that vibe from you. And you reminded me of, how a group of friends and they're trying to approach a professor and everybody's just fighting. No, you go. No, you go talk to her. You go talk to her. I'm not gonna go. I feel like you would just be like, listen, you know what? Let me just go and talk to the professor for everybody. Let's not fight about it. But yeah, that's my compliment for you. I feel like you would just, you'd stand strong when it comes to anybody who's close to you.
Thank you so much. And yeah,
And
yeah, right.
wow, I'm glad. Who do you want to pass your baton to? Who goes
Sai?
next in the spotlight? Dr. Sai, great. Should I go first?
Yeah, please.
I feel like Dr. Sai is a very grounded person. I mean, the first thing that I felt when I spoke, like when she spoke to all of us, and when I saw her, she'd probably be very like calm, composed, no matter what's happening around her. Like I'm sure her brain is working 100% on how to solve things, what to do next, how we're gonna get out of this. But I feel like she'd not let that show. Uh, so I felt like you're very self-dependable, but you're also like a problem solver in terms of um, you wouldn't be indecisive when it comes to actually taking an urgent decision. Is what I felt.
Thank you. That's a very good observation, Komal. You're gonna be a very good psychologist.
So can I go next? Yeah. So, like just like how I told about Komal, like I'm meeting Sai for the very first time. And, just looking at her, her introducing herself, and then again, the way she gives a compliment as well, you know, I just see like a sense of calm. Like, there's a lot of waves on the beach, but then you go a bit into it and then you see the calmness of the beach. You know, there's, the water is there, water is one of the softest and also the strongest thing in the world. You know, when it's when it's just that, when it's still it's super soft, and when there's a rage, it comes out with a lot of power. I don't know, seeing you just listen to everyone, that's I can relate to yourself with water.
Thank you. That's very, very interesting compliment I've ever received. Thank you.
That's lovely. I mean, Simon, may I go next? Is that all right?
Of course, yes.
All right, all right. I would very well agree with Kavi and Komal, Dr. Sai, to be honest. But yes, for sure, to add up to them, to add to what they said as well, I would say, your eyes. I mean, of course, I mean, I can hardly see everything, but sure, it's like the first time when we are talking about. I think your face and your eyes have got this sort of assurance the person can get. That when you're talking to you, when somebody's talking to you, it's like you're there, you're listening, and you're present. That sort of assurance very few people can give. So there's this calmness, there's compose, there's for sure kindness on your face. But I think the assurance is one thing that makes you different from others for sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right.
So last but not least, it's me. The first, I'm going to steal Jiva's word. Thanks, Jiva. Jiva is like my sidekick. He's one of our developers. And I feel this. Anyway, I don't want to compliment him when I'm trying to compliment you. Sorry, but he just shared in the chat the word serene, and that's exactly what I was feeling as well in your presence. Probably the best compliment I could give you is that I would probably choose you as a psychologist if you know. So that's probably the best compliment, because I'm very picky with like therapists and things. So yeah, you're very serene, and I get this sense of calm, kind of assuredness around you. It's you're the type of person who you'd want around when everything is falling apart and the world is on fire, and you're like, I need some kind of what would the word be? Some point to center around. That's what I feel like you are. So your clients are lucky is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. That just shows that I have a great face value for being a psychologist.
Yeah, you do. You're in the right profession. May I go first and compliment Rohini as well? So Rohini, I love people who get places super early, and Rohini was the first person here, and I absolutely love that, which is a little unusual compliment, but I felt very nervous coming into this. I get nervous around, well, talking to many people. It's not my kind of comfort zone. But I felt assured and comforted by your presence. We had a little conversation before we started, and that very much helped me. So yeah, and I love your energy. You have such fantastic energy. Immediately, I felt that energy coming from you, and yeah, thank you for bringing that energy. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So can I go, if that's okay? Seeing Rohini, you call this, I mean, they call this as the boss woman, She gives me the boss woman look, like, I own it all and I can do everything, everything is in my control, and like I can, it's all set. The kind of confidence that you have when you present yourself, when you have a conversation, or when you're like just talking, the confidence is something that is beautifully coming out, which I can see in your face and in your smile.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Kavi. Thank you. Wow.
All right, can I go next, I guess? So I can see her in black and white, but I assume she would be a very colorful person in real life, and I would if it was one word, I would choose vibrant for her. I don't know, that's the vibe you give me, so you have to verify that, but still that would be a compliment for you, a very colorful, vibrant, confident person, like Kavi said.
That's really nice. Thank you. I mean, yeah, it's just so nice to hear such cute, beautiful things at once. Actually, thanks, Komal, and thank you so much, Dr. Sai. I really appreciate it.
Well, for me, most of my compliments were already mentioned by Kavi, Dr. Sai, and Simon. But I feel like you're a person who knows her boundaries very well, and not a lot of people have that. That is why I'm using this as a compliment, because it's difficult to actually set boundaries and be able to say no and everything. And I feel like while you have your boundaries very set, you're also somebody who be very empathetic when it comes to anybody else letting their boundaries down, because you know what it takes to actually, let someone in, take down your walls, talk about things. But I feel like you'd be very empathetic, but you know your boundaries, and you know when to talk, what to talk, how much to talk. So that's a skill, honestly. Uh, but yeah, that's my compliment.
Thank you.
But I'm not sure. Is that right?
I was going to say, Komal, thank you so much for bringing that up because, to be honest, throughout my life, I have been a people's pleaser person. I would not shy away from saying that I was the person because, I think I felt too much forever. I've always been an empathetic person, but I felt too much. Hey, I don't want to say no to this person. How will he feel? How will that person feel? So I've always been a people's pleaser person. In fact, I kind of let go of my own personality to an extent that I was thinking, that I am getting tired now, and it started taking a toll on my mental health. But the past 2 years, and I'm learning, and I think this is the one thing that I have started to, I have learned that this is, an art of saying no, how to say no, and how to set those boundaries that you're saying no, but without, leaving that person in that feeling that, oh, why did she say no to me? So I am still learning that this learning every day is a new learning, I would say. So I would really appreciate you bringing that as well, for sure. And just to reply to everybody else, to like Sai as well, Dr. Sai as well, I would say, that's a really good compliment that you gave me, vibrant, because I do feel really colorful in my own. I mean, this is something that I do feel in my own, in my body, that I want to be. I do not want to live a black and white color as much as I like it, and black is my favorite color. But I think I like to live a colorful life. And to reply to Kavi as well, I get that a lot. That boss women thing. I think that's just a vibe that I give. I don't know how, but I think I like it somehow. I don't know uh, uh, if this goes really well for me sometimes, because sometimes it's like some people, they don't even come to me and talk to me because they are like, you know what, it's like we have to be little this also. But I really like it that I give that vibe. So thank you all for bringing that really apt sort of things out of me. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I am so glad. So this is good rapport building. We know a little bit more about each other now. But coming to talking about actually what we're here for today, community. And so the kind of person that I am in moderating or in facilitating any kind of group things is that I like to keep it fun, um, because I don't like for anything to get too serious, because I mean, what are we gonna do with serious, right? When it comes to serious, we talk serious, but we're gonna discuss things here. So let's make it a little more fun, a little more to the point. So if y'all had to describe community in one word, what would that word be? What community means in one word?
I would say safety.
I would say sense of belonging.
Vulnerability.
For me, it would be friendship.
And for me, it would be relatability. I think all of our words pretty much sum up everything that a community should have, ideally. Um, and when we talk about union, seeing its growth, seeing how the app has come out, seeing what is in the plans for the future, rest assured, everything is, given to you, everything that you want. Because why I asked for one word is because the way that we answer this question also tells us what is most important for us, in a community. For me, if I can't relate to anybody, I can't be in that group, because what am I going to talk about? What are we going to share things about? For somebody else, it might be sense of belongingness. It might be vulnerability, right? That if I can't share in this group, I don't feel like I belong. Um, the community, when we talk about in the names of a community, that okay, we're a community of XYZ college students, or we're a community of XYZ religion. But that's very different from our chosen community. We choose our communities based on what is most important for us. If we're able to we feel a sense of belonging there. We're able to be vulnerable. We're able to, share things, just be there, feel like a little bit of home. We find a little bit of home in there. So Union 100% is bringing that to us. So kudos for that. Moving on, this is something that I have been wondering, I'm thinking about since I heard of the concept of union is that how do you all feel community as a global subject? A global community uh, makes a difference in us understanding ourselves, us empathizing with ourselves as well as others. Why a good global community rather than just like, maybe in a city, maybe in a said colony, maybe in a said country? What difference does it make to have a global community?
Should I go first? That's a very good question, Komal. I would say because I think that's very important to have a global community because that's for me a global community would mean a collective strength because when we are finding a community just in a colony or just in our in our hometown or I would say in a country that you could still find but when you're traveling and when you're out there as well I think one needs to feel that sort of a collective strength that wherever I am I have that sort of a community in me and around me and I think that's also important to have a community but as well as if one person is out there open and all about that's finding those people and if that person is trying to find those sort of community I think the journey is halfway there he's already completed his half journey that he's looking for people around him to kind of to find that community so I think that's a very important aspect for anybody to have sort of one global community where would say for example union if I talk about if at all I know wherever I go, I can look for union. I can look for people. Like this is a community that I can actually go and and look for my sort of people, like-minded. And even if not like-minded, at least they won't judge me for who I am, for who and what am I feeling. They would be with an open and arms. They would be welcoming my thoughts, my well-being. I think that sort of a collective strength gives a lot of patience, gives a lot of uh, uh, security and safety for anybody and that is the most important aspect in mental health because I know for a fact one thing that a lot of people when they talk about mental health when they don't know about mental health and when those people are talking about it it can go really really wrong because say for example if you're talking to a friend it's a very common dialect and please correct me if I'm wrong Dr. Sai, Kavi and Komal and Simon I would request you to just correct me if I'm wrong in this because what happens so when people don't know the mental health and how to actually deal with it and I could actually be struggling with something and they would be like it's okay fine let's just go for a drink it's okay just by them saying what it's okay don't think about it too much can actually put me down and actually hurt my feelings so badly that that would I would not even come out of that zone again so it's very important to find those sort of a people that would if at all they don't know anything they would just say what it's fine I'm here with you whatever you need you know just that one sentence that I may not understand what you're going through but I'm here for you and I'm here with you so that sentence and that community power the collective strength goes long way I would say.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. Like you said, community brings strength. Um, Kavi, Dr. Sai, Simon.
Do you want to go ahead, Kavi, or can I go ahead? All right. Yes. So I'm an immigrant, and I lived in a very small town in Italy for a year, where I had no connections, no bonds, and coming from a country which is most populated country in the world, then you go live in a small town. That's where you understand the difference. Like I said, community means safety. In a way, we are so experienced, so I would not experienced, but we are so used to seeing people around us all the time that deserted places make you feel absolutely unsafe. And imagine if we had someone we knew in that city, it would be so much easier journey to start a life there. So that's one point about having a global community. And other point I would say is it's very difficult to move to another place and start making friendships, especially when you're in your 30s, you have your life settled around you, maybe you and your partner, and then you have to go out, make efforts, find those hobbies where you can connect with people other than your family and have a friend circle, because you can't connect with your friends who are based in your own city so much because they can't relate to your problems anymore. And that's where I think global community plays its role. And thank you, Simon, for bringing something like this for us.
Thank you. That was really nice of you. I'm gonna let Kavi go next, and then I will join in.
Okay, so for me, community is like, how we all spoke, what this is. Like, it's a safe space, in a place where, especially now since all of us are here talking about mental health, there's one thing that you don't feel like no one ever understands you. Like you feel like you're all alone here. One other thing my therapist told me one day is that there are only two people who can understand what exactly you're going through: the one who's experienced it and the one who studied about it. So I would see, I wasn't one of the fortunate few to learn it professionally, but probably through experience, I've learned it, or at least I've seen what this could feel like. So for me, in case if someone was going to come and tell me that they're feeling low, as an empathetic person, I can listen. But, empathy is something that not a lot of people have right now. The EQ is one of the biggest thing even people are looking to when they recruit people nowadays, because that's very, very important. So, like a community, a global community per se, at times a person who's right next to you might not understand a lot of things, but someone who actually understands situations or experience that you're going through might understand, who would be, uh, what to say, miles away from you. Because I remember one of this incident when I had a random person text me from Canada, on my Instagram page of Unsilence, who was actually battling suicidal thoughts on that particular day. And just a small video and a story that I put that day, somehow she got to see it and she told me, I was talking to my family about it, and they tell me, you're just stupid, you're just overthinking, just leave it off. But this story kind of made a whole difference. And, at times we open up, and right now, without even like, I was able to share my story because I know that this community of people who are right here, irrespective of where we are from, is a safe space. I think that's what community is for me. And that's why, a global community, you understand about how people are facing it and how people are handling it at different countries and different continents. At times something that's happening in US could be implemented here in India. Something that's happening in India could be implemented in UK. And likewise. And having a community for one goal, mental wellness over here, is a beautiful thing. Thank you for that, Simon.
Thank you, Kavi, and thank you for all the things you were saying about community. I related a lot to what all of you were saying, especially Dr. Sai. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's super hard to reestablish friend kind of groups if you have any kind of life transition. And a big reason why I came up with the idea for union is that recognition of, okay, if you lose your friend in some way, either you move or you get ill or anything happens, then how do you start making friends again? So for me, the best benefit of union is to bring people together to make friends. And the beauty of having a global community is that it's in many ways easier to find people like us, like-minded friends, people who we feel are kindred, people who understand us. And there were many years that I just felt like no matter how hard I tried to make friends with people who I felt were like me, it was impossible because I just couldn't find those people. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. And so with Union, I'm hoping that we make that process easier for people. We're going to be implementing friend matching in the future in the next couple of months as well, which I'm hoping is going to help people to find people who have similar interests, who want to, connect over like-minded interests and also experiences. I mean, not everyone, you've all expressed, not everyone understands mental health, and if you're going through something, it's often a very lonely experience. And so the beauty of having a global community is that reduction in loneliness, that feeling like I'm not entirely alone in the world. There are other people, and they might be in the same city, they might be in another country, they might have a completely different background from me or similar one, but they understand me on a deep level. And I feel like those deep connections are what a global community can give us. And I feel like that's where healing comes, that kind of deep connection. I mean, what makes us feel connected to each other? I think it's probably a recognition of some similarity, some similar interests, similar experience, similar something. It's $1 million question of, why do we connect with certain people and not others? But yeah, I mean, I would love to talk about connection, actually. I mean, let's give a question to Komal, since she's so wonderfully facilitating everything. So Komal, so we've talked about community, the benefits of a community. Where does connection come in for you? What is connection to you, Komal? And what are the benefits of connection? When do you feel most connected?
Okay. Before I actually talk about connections, there was one thing that I would have wanted to add to this question's answer is mostly everything y'all covered everything about you know the benefits or how having a global community helps us as an individual. I feel like when extending support to others, having a global community for me personally would help me understand cultures uh, a lot, especially just comparing, like Dr. Sai said, going from a collectivist culture to an individualist culture makes a huge difference in itself, right? And there are so many sub parts to it. Even in India, when you compare like two different religions, everybody thinks differently, everybody has very different core beliefs. And just understanding that, I feel like would, like Kavi, you said, not everybody, not a lot of people understand what empathy actually is. I feel like a global community would add to empathy. One of the reasons being because you understand there are so many different other shoes that you can't try on, but you still have to empathize and acknowledge their presence. That okay, it exists, and I have to respect that. Uh, but yeah, I think that is one major reason that I feel like a global community uh, would be able to extend support, would be able to extend help, not just to us, but to everybody. And coming to Simon's question, connection for me, I feel like is a lot about active listening and acknowledgement of what is being said. So active communication. Um, but again, not just restricted to verbal communication. I feel like connection would be when I am able to talk and I'm able to stay silent as well, comfortably. Both of these things. Um, it shouldn't be that oh, I'm talking. As long as I'm talking, I'm okay. And then when I'm not talking, I feel uneasy. I'm feeling anxious. That is not connection for me. Connection is when I've stopped talking and I'm still comfortable, uh, comfortable listening, comfortable just sitting in silence. That is connection for me. And why it helps is honestly in my head, whenever I think about friendships, whenever I think about relationships, any close relationship for that matter, for me it comes down to when I go back home, do I have somebody to talk to? Um, do I have anybody that I can just text with a good news or a bad news? Um, do I think of anybody? Do I think of telling anybody in the first place if something has happened to me, or if I just have a random thought, like if I just see a beautiful cloud, do I want to share that with someone? Do I want to, uh, you know, just talk about the stupid cloud that I find interesting? Right? And I mean, it's not a stupid cloud. 100%, it's a very interesting cloud. But yeah, that is, I feel like connection helps. Uh, you understand yourself a lot as well. because I feel like when you don't share, you have to let it out to actually be able to see things, right? That is also how we talk about writing, journaling. You let it out and then you can structure things. But I feel like that's just talking to somebody or having connections is another way of writing, journaling in terms of letting things out, seeing things the way that they are. Because no matter how much you fill inside, it's all going to be jumbled up because like you're just filling things up, right? But when you're talking, you're sharing stories with your friends, and there are like 100 stories coming out of that one story. You understand, oh yeah, I connect such random things to this, and then I'm randomly remembering a childhood memory connected to that, and all that. So I feel like connection really helps in understanding yourself. A lot of times, accepting yourself as well. Uh, because I think Rohini had mentioned at the start, them just saying, it's fine, I'm here, even if I don't understand what you're going through. So just connection in that way. If somebody just tells me, though, oh, whatever you're saying, I get it. It's okay. Even I think like that sometimes, even if they don't relate and even if they have like a completely different thing, but them just saying something uh, gives you a lot of reassurance, gives you a lot of chance and space to acknowledge yourself, appreciate yourself, and acknowledge um, everything that's happening to you around you. So yeah, connection for me is a very big, positive, a big green flag, uh, if I may. But yeah, how about y'all? How about you, Simon? What is connection for you?
I loved what you said. I relate a lot to that. Probably it's it's a hard one, but it's I feel the same as you. It's being in the presence of someone that's I feel like connections being in the presence of someone who brings you some kind of peace or joy or is I don't know, you feel good in their presence. That's a way to summarize everything I feel when talking with someone who I feel really connected to. You feel either lighter afterwards or you feel some kind of joy. You feel seen, heard, cared for. And I think it's the one thing that we all long for, like that connection with other people as well as ourselves. Connection can be for ourselves as well, taking the time to actually acknowledge our feelings, how what's going on with us, to take care of ourselves. So yeah, and I feel like when you have a mental illness or you're struggling with your mental health, one of the first things to go is that sense of connection to yourself and other people. And it's either you want to retreat from the world, or you just feel connected to nothing. And part of that I feel is energy. You need that energy to kind of connect with other people. You need to kind of take care of yourselves. And I had a conversation a long time ago with Melisa about this. I was just remembering, and one of the things she brought my attention to was energy. And it's something that's actually helped me a lot to feel better with my mental health, is trying to maintain that energy. And we get that energy from spending time with ourselves and taking care of ourselves, but we also get that energy from other people. So for me, a proper, like, deep connection, a healthy connection, is that which brings you energy instead of draining you. So yeah, who would like to share next?
I can go next. Very interesting perspectives on connecting with people. I'm going to add a professional uh, perspective to this. And I would say that therapeutic thing about therapy is being connected. The most therapeutic part of therapy is to have that connection with your client. And the way I do it is most of the times by sharing something about myself with or cracking a stupid joke or something that would make the person understand that okay, it's safe to share something with this person. And if she's gone through something, she will definitely understand what I've been through. And I think it's pain, the experience, that connects people more strongly with each other than sharing the same interests or being from the same family or having same values. If you see that a therapist is divorced, a divorced person is more likely to come to that therapist because they will know she will not or he will not judge me, ask stupid questions that anyone else would. So I think the connection is strongly based on pain. If there's pain that you can relate to other person, that's what we call empathy, right? That's what we call empathy. So if someone can empathize with you, that's where connection is. And that's a very strong part of our profession, I guess. If there's no connection, and I've had many, I wouldn't, I would be very honest that there has been no growth or no change in clients who have never connected with me, and that's fine because you can't be everything for everyone. Thank you. Sorry if I made it more serious conversation.
No, I think it was pretty good to hear that professional, like the way that you do this. But I would like to definitely add to that is, for me, connection. The first and foremost thing that comes to my mind when I say connection is a connection to my own soul. First is this: the first I want to one needs to be able to connect to their soul, to be able to give that energy out, to be attracting the other energy. So I think one needs to definitely cleanse and have the right energy in themselves and connect to themselves, mindfulness, with gratitude, with, you know so that's one. And the second thing when I say connection is connection with the nature, because that's a very important connection that you can never go wrong. It would never disappoint you. It would never ever sort of, put you down, because there's a beautiful energy coming out of this nature and telling you to hug me, right? That wind to take that, maybe, that flick away from your hair, and just to give you that little breeze of comfort. And it's just lovely to see that connection, because nature never goes wrong. But when it comes to human, I would say, uh, for me, connection is definitely the right communication. And when we say communication, people can be communicating with each other, but the most important part of communication is comprehension. People don't comprehend what you're saying, but they only communicate. So they're like, yeah, I communicate with that person. I'm talking. So I'm talking. But if you don't get what I'm trying to say, if you don't comprehend what I mean, then the communication is of no use, right? So I think for me, connection is the right comprehension, or to be able to say, you know what, I don't get you, I don't feel you. Let's get back to each other maybe later when we're in the right state of mind. That when we're able to understand each other. I think if that simple rule people would actually accept and adapt in their lives and in their relationships and in their friendships, I think a lot of problems would be solved, and the world will be really, really happy place to be in. Because I think we're all talking, but less understanding, but less comprehending. So that's what connection does to me. Yes.
That was beautifully said. I was wondering how will I add on here, because almost all the points have been shared by each of you. When we were having this discussion, when all of you were talking, only one thing kind of played in my mind. I'm sure like a lot of us would have watched the movie Inside Out. In the Inside Out Part 1, Riley's imaginary a friend, the elephant, it was called the Bing Bong, if I'm not wrong. You know, at a point when he's sitting right there, Joy is like, come, let's go. That time Sadness just goes there, sits next to him, and comforts him and tells him it's okay to be sad. I think that is what the connection is all about. You know, just relating ourselves with another person. It's also about empathy, but then I think that kind of beautifully portrays what connection is. Where you understand and when you just go along with another person. At times, even when you don't understand, you just listen. Just being there, just to listen. I think that's all that talks about what connection is. You know, I think one thing that all of you told is connection to oneself. And through my battle, just giving experience from my own life, when I have to say, one of the biggest and one of the difficult thing is that I never felt connected to myself. There was a lot of vacuum. It was a lot of numbness. I wasn't sure what I was going through or what I was feeling. Just But the time when I got back that connection, when I started feeling like myself, that one moment, almost 1.5 years, after a very long time, I found that small ray of hope. And I was like, wow, this is what life is. Isn't it very beautiful? I think that connection to oneself is something that matters a lot. Healing is not just for other people around you, but the healing is for oneself. And I think a lot of us talk about the the generational trauma that come in. When someone is able to connect with themselves, they'll make sure that they don't pass it on to the next person. And it's not just in generations, also to your friends, because when you're experiencing something, that also comes out and reflects on a lot of other people. One's uh, battle could also come out as anger to another person. They would feel disconnected from themselves and from the world. And when they start healing, they start feeling connected. So yeah.
That was such a beautiful metaphor that you brought up with the emotions when you spoke about Inside Out. Uh, because, yeah, I mean, that made a lot of sense. So I love the metaphor. Um, okay, moving on, I think because Simon was mentioning, we might have a feature where we can match with friends and all. What are 3 words that you would put on your union profile uh, if the question or the prompt was describe yourself in 3 words?
I mean, you're on mute. Is he trying to speak? I think.
No, I was just saying to myself, wow, because I was like, how am I going to answer that in 3 words? I
Take
guess
the
I'll go
time.
for it since I'm sorry, Komal.
Please go ahead. I was actually
Oh,
gonna say
okay.
you should go first.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'm going to wing it. 3 words to describe myself on my union profile. Right now it just has a union founder or something like this, so have to update it in the future. Probably, this is a very hard question. Good job, Komal. First of all. Does it have to be like describing me, or can it be any words in general, or like a description of myself, or anything, or?
Describe yourself in 3 words. Otherwise, how are you
Oh,
gonna make friends?
oh, right, myself. Okay. Wow. It's probably one of the hardest questions I've ever been asked. How do I describe myself in just 3 words? I don't know. Probably poetry, sunflowers, and compassion without the and. Probably that describes me in 3 words. I love poetry. I love sunflowers and all things growing and gardening, and compassion as the core of what I'm trying to do here with Union. So yeah, poetry, sunflowers, compassion.
Everybody's thinking seems like. No worries, take your time.
I guess, yeah, I can go first. I think in my union profile, where I think people would be seeking in, like-minded people. So I would say vibrant, Dr. Sai. I would say vibrant, survivor, so that people can feel that uh, that I've also survived something, and we're all survivors of this world, I think, and content with where I am. That's something I would like to describe as.
I like how the words have a progression in themselves. It shows a journey. I
It
love
does.
that.
It does.
Can I go next? I think it's too late for me to not to write a word psychologist, but I still don't want to write it there because that is so much of me, I think. 65% of me is just psychologist. I just feel like I live in that um, role. And it's, yeah, but I don't want to put that there. I would go with introvert, happy, and traveler.
So if I can go next, okay, 3 words. Let me just tell 3 words: little things, warrior, and there's a Tamil word called unbasivam. So when I say little things, I'm someone who enjoys the little things in life, and someone who kind of feels little things, and all that matters in a day is that little thing for me. So little things. Then again, warrior. I think just like how Rohini told about survivor. You know, initially I call myself a survivor when I came to a point, but then I just realized that not everyone is survivor, but then a lot of us are warriors. The battle. It's not. At times it's a never-ending battle, and i- it's not always about surviving. It's about you knowing how to handle it and go through the day. And I think there is a lot of time you could relapse to it. So I think I would call myself a warrior who's gonna fight every day, irrespective of how much of our life is gonna throw at me. Then unbasism is basically, it's more like kindness or love is God. Because for me, the concept of God is basically love or the kindness that we give others. So yeah.
How lovely. I love that. I'm actually conflicted between 4 words. Most of them, I mean, they kind of overlap. But for me, I think it would be goofball for sure. That would be one word. Learner, optimistic, and believer. So I'm conflicted between believer, optimistic, and goofball because they kind of overlap a little bit, like parts of them, but then I'm not sure which two I would pick. Maybe I'll
You
just
can
like
keep
leave.
switching. You can keep switching.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
fine.
doing. I'm gonna
Everything.
like I'll put no space and just put 2 words accidentally together.
that's that's what I was just going to say. You can have a compound word of something like optimistic believer with a
Yeah,
hyphen.
I just saw that. Yeah, I'll be like optimistic believer. I believe, but only in positive things.
Mm.
That would be funny. That would be funny. But anyway, lovely conversation. I hope all of us had fun a little bit here and there. But we also did talk about um, what community means to us, what community can mean to the world um, as a reflection of us. Um, but yeah, lovely conversation. Um, this was kind of, I would say, a little bit of a movie trailer on how actually communities work because most of us actually didn't know each other. But at this point, I feel like if we were to describe each other, we could pretty much write at least a couple of lines uh, just within like 90 minutes, I think, 1.5 hour. But I think this is the power of connecting. This is the power of talking, sharing, be it about anything, honestly. I mean, even if we were to randomly talk about a subject or anything else in the world, I feel like we could come up with something of our own and then everybody would talk about it, relate with it, agree, disagree with. The only thing that remains is respecting each other's point of view, um, understanding where they come from, actually. But yeah, that is the kind of culture we want to develop. as well. And the idea sort of goes beyond union, goes beyond any of our startups or any of our mental health spaces, in just sort of, what's that called? The rippling effect. Uh, we do something, even if it is a little thing, like you said, Kavi, little things matter. 100% they do. Uh, I mean, I'm going to remember this conversation for my life. I feel like, um, and I'm not even stressing at this point about like my entire exam week because I'm just chilling. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I was like this before as well, but at the back of my head, I was a little bit panicky that, oh, I have so many papers and I didn't do anything the entire day. But now I just feel like I have this sort of uh, satisfaction that I'm feeling that this was such a good conversation. This was what connection is. Simon, if you were to ask me now what connection means to me, I think this is what it means. Um, Talking, sharing, just being okay with actually sharing what I feel, what I believe, what I think. I'm not, feeling any sort of guilt about it, not feeling or coming back to this conversation and thinking, oh, I should have said that, or oh, I could have done that. It's just natural. It's in the flow. So I think connection means that to me when you're not overthinking, when you're not, sort of thinking before you act per se, not a lot at least. Yeah, this is what connection means to me. Simon, do you want to add anything?
I do, but first of all, well, I just want to thank everyone. But before I do that, I would like to pass on to all of you just to give your final thoughts, and then I will wrap things up. And there are a few people that I want to thank. So I don't know who wants to go next, but we'll get back to me. Dr. Sai?
Yes. So um, I always have this experience where I feel when I talk to two different people, I feel that if we put these two people together, they will connect so well. And if I say to person A that, oh no, there is like many other people in this world who are suffering through exactly what you, and they are able to also have the same questions on their mind about whatever you're going through. And I've tried my best, but it has never been successful to put all these people together in a form of a support group or in form of a workshop or whatever, but it has never been successful. And I definitely see that a platform like Union can help me put these people together. So if I know someone, I would definitely recommend them. Please join this group on Union on this app, and I'm sure someday they will find each other. I mean, not each other, but everyone as a community. That's a great help. That's the first thought that came to my mind when I read about your app, Simon, and that's why I'm here. Honestly, that's the reason I'm here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was really lovely. I'll properly reply to what you just said later on, but I'm going to pass the torch to who would like to go next, Rohini or Kavi.
All right, that's lovely. I just before we leave, I think that's definitely I really appreciate you, Simon, and your whole team for bringing this, for making this whole community, and of course for bringing this application to in place, because of course it's going to help a lot of people. But all I want to say before leaving this talk, that it's very important to be vulnerable sometimes, because being in front of being vulnerable in front of people sometimes might seem counterintuitive, but it often leads to a lot of deeper, meaningful, and authentic relationships. So people who you can be vulnerable with, that often leads to the most authentic relationships with as well. So I think it's very important for us to not be really, really scared of who's going to leave us or who's going to judge us or anything, because life is too short. We are in a universe wherein we are this small. We're like carbon emission. We don't even we feel each other. We feel ourselves as a hero of our lives, heroine or hero, whatever it is, but hero of our lives, that I would say. but which is very much important as well. We have to feel that way, but also let's not ignore the fact that we are nothing in front of the universe. So, and life is too short to be missing out on these opportunities to be happy, to be at peace, to be content, to be, to be actually not saying when you love, when you love, when you want to say something. So I know that we hear these things so much, like, that if you want to call that person, just give them a call. If you want to apologize to somebody, just do that. Forgive, forget, and be happy. But this is very important for everybody to actually act upon it, because it's going to just help us in the end of the process. It's going to help us only. So look for authentic relationships, but definitely find one with yourself first, because back over the days when we used to say, I mean, I'm going to say it like this: back over the days when we used to say, what, he and I, or we complete each other. There's nothing of that sort anymore. You complete you, I complete me, and when we bring together, and when we come together to evolve and to grow together, you don't complete me, I don't complete you. There is no power that come and that can make me happy. I am the only power that can make myself happy and content and at peace. So just do that. That's a message for everybody that I would say. Yeah. And as I mentioned, thank you so much, Simon, for bringing this sort of community. This is what we discussed in the beginning also, that we need more people, we need more communities like this to be coming our way, because it's still not enough. I would say it's still not enough. We just need to keep uniting with each other, all the countries, all the people, and everyone. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rohini. That was really lovely. Thank you so much. I'll pass the torch on now to Kavi.
Thank you so much. It was Rohini, when you were talking about it, it was so beautifully drafted. It just felt like it was just right on point. I think during one of the conversation earlier, we spoke about collective voice, a place being, a union being a collective voice. I think that's how I see union as. At a lot of places, when we want to break the stigma around mental health, it's still a taboo, and you want to break it, you want to break the silence. It does not just start. It starts from one person, but then the voice is heard only when all of us join our hands together. Just like they say, one hand cannot just make the sound of clapping. You need both the hands for it. And in the same way, when a lot of like-minded people who want to break the stigma and who wants to talk and bring a change, it starts there. And another very important thing is us being ready to unlearn. Couple of years back, if you would have asked me if this was just the Kavi who existed then, no. She's evolved, she's changed, and she's learned a lot. And than learning a lot, she's unlearned and learned a lot. We start unlearning when we learn the right things. Probably, let's just, I wouldn't have known what mental health or what depression is unless someone professionally who's told me what it is. At times, a lot of us assume that sadness is depression, which is not the reality. Sad, being sad is not being depressed. And at times you need to learn that, or you need to hear that from the right set of people. I think union could become a platform where you learn the things the right way. One thing I always relate to, and I think I might have told this to Simon. This is one song. It's called "The Million Dreams" from The Greatest Showman. That's a song that I kind of always, it's more like the motivational song that I do for Unsilence, because I want to bring it. I just want to just read few lines of it and just say what the lyrics says, and just end it, because that's exactly what here, as a community as a whole, what we're trying to do. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. And a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. So it started as one person's dream probably, but then here, it's right now so many of us are here, and for the world that we're gonna make, it's all the million dreams of every single person that's gonna make the difference. So yeah.
That was very beautiful, Kavi. Thank you. I love that. There are a few things I want to say, but first of all, I want to thank you all for this wonderful discussion. This has been fantastic, beyond what I could have imagined. It's been really, really great. So thank you for taking the time to be part of the discussion. Dr. Sai, Rohini, Kavi, Komal, and the wonderful Melissa as well for reciting your beautiful poem. I really appreciate that. And thank you for everyone for being here and taking time to come and support me and the rest of my company. It really means a lot. We've put a lot of hard work into Union. It's been 2 years of working with zero money and winging it. And I couldn't have done it without the amazing people on our team. And we have some fantastic people, and I want to thank some of them now. So I'm going to start with the developers. We have 7 developers. We've got 2 here right now. So Jiva and Iman, I'm going to spotlight you. I need to spotlight Jiva. All right, Iman, Jiva, are you there? I'm hoping you're there, guys. Please be there. I'm trying to praise you. Guys,
Hi, Simon. Yeah, I'm here.
You're there. Thank you. Good. Iman is here. Jiva, are you there? Come on, Jiva. Oh, are you there, Jiva? Yes? No? You raised your hand, but I can't hear you.
Guys, I'm here. Still here. Sorry. Setting up my mic.
Right. Okay. Put your cameras on, guys. I don't know if it's my Teams that have that's bugging, or if you can put your cameras on, it'll be nice to see you guys.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute. I'll just turn on my camera.
Sure. Here's Iman. Wait for Jiva to rock up. Oh, you've got your fun background on. That's what you do, right? You're just like, I've got to have the funky sci-fi type background.
Yeah.
So Iman and Jiva are 2 of our developers and just really great guys. And our app is as awesome as it is because of them and other amazing developers as well. Mary had to join from the mall because there's a power outage in Pakistan, otherwise she would have been here too. And a few of the others came and have kind of had to go. But yeah, guys, I just want to thank you both. I mean, Jiva and Iman especially have been there for me and always, been supportive, made me laugh. We've had many food conversations, so I'm sure that I'm a few pounds heavier because of you guys. But yeah, like it's you've made it really great for me to work with you both, and having a team as awesome as ours just makes working fun. And it's well, Jiva and Iman can tell you it's been incredibly hard to do what we've done. It's taken a lot of work and it's been very stressful. There've been lots of ups and downs, and developing an app, you have no idea how difficult it is. Most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. Really, really difficult. And but we got there, and it's down to the amazing work of our developers. So Jiva, Iman, thank you for being awesome guys, and thank you for having my back. Thank you for doing a great job and helping us to get where we are. And without you, it wouldn't have been possible. So yeah, a lot of the spirit of Union, our wonderful developers imbued in our app, and the beautiful things that we're going to be making over the next few months will be down to these wonderful guys. And yeah, I just want to take a moment to recognize all of your hard work. I know I've said it a million times, but I want to do it in front of everyone because people don't understand how hard it is to make an app. We've all got our phones. We go to our phones, We just, we'll go to Google, we'll go to hopefully Union, go to Union, but we'll go to whatever app we go to, and we just use these apps. We don't really think about, okay, who are the people who have made these apps? Who are the people who have spent all of these thousands of hours developing these apps? People don't know that and don't think about that, but I know intimately now what it takes to do that, and it takes a lot of work, especially when you're working on zero money, which we have done, which is kind of like a miracle that we've been able to do this with zero money so far. So, and it's down to the belief and the hard work of great people like Jiva and Iman, who believe in what we're doing here at Union and want to help people. So thank you for believing in what we're doing, and all of you as well. Everyone who's joined the team, and we have several people here from our team. So Priyanshi from our marketing team, Kristen, Komal from our outreach team, of course, Kavi as well from our outreach team, and Riddhi has recently joined us as well. We have 25 of us right now, so we have various different psychology professionals, students, graduates, marketing people, and of course our developers and myself. And everyone's put in a lot of great work, and we couldn't have done this without everyone. Everyone's brought some magic to things, and so thank you to everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I want to spotlight Melisa as well and thank her. Apparently it won't let me spotlight another person. Iman's going to be a gentleman, and I'm going to unspotlight you for a moment. I know he won't mind. Thanks, Iman. I'm going to spotlight Melisa for a second. Okay, so add spotlight. All right. So yeah, I just want to thank you as well, Melisa. Thank you for bringing your wonderful poetry. And I'm going to talk about the app, and then I want to give you all a moment just to kind of talk about what you're doing, kind of share any links in the chat to your social media so people can connect with you. First of all, I'm just going to share in the chat. I meant to do this to start with, but then we got into a great conversation, and so I just didn't share it. So these are some ways that you can support us. I'm just making sure everything is there. Okay. Okay, so there are a few different ways you can help support us here at Union. One of them is, of course, downloading the app, using the app, being a good part of our community. We've only launched a couple of weeks ago, so we're trying to build out our community now. So sharing and bringing that magic that you have brought today would be fantastic. We're trying to imbue our community with, of course, compassion and vulnerability and supporting people essentially, and bringing what is us, well, for me, it's sunflowers and poetry. Those are my things, and compassion, and bring art. That's what I'll be sharing about. But yes, please, I'm looking forward to you being an active part of our community, everyone. You can also leave us a review on the App Store of your choice. That would really help us. It helps with our rankings. It helps get the word out there. And it's good for when, new potential users come and they see reviews. It's a way that people assess an app. So that would be a really great way to support us. You can also directly in our app, there's a share button in the side menu, which you can use to share an image about Union or text about Union to your social media. That would also be a great help. And the final thing, there's a website called Product Hunt, which is a website for newly released products. And it's just a nice way to get the word out about us. People check it out to kind of see the new latest apps and things. So I think you can sign in via Google accounts there. So if you could take a moment to sign in and give us an upvote, that would also help us as well. I really would appreciate that. And yeah, just thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you for caring about what we're doing. Our mission is to support everyone in the world, and my vision for Union is to be a place where anyone in the world can go to whenever they need to connect with someone, whenever they want to make a friend, whenever they're struggling and need support, and whenever they want to connect to themselves or other people. So the only way we can make it come true and happen is with your support and your participation. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, it means a lot to me that you've all shown up, and thank you so much. Now I'm going to give you a chance to plug everything. Since Melisa started first, I'm going to let you go first, Melisa.
Oh, hi. Nothing. I just want to thank you for listening to my poem. I'm pretty sure this app is going to bring and build a bridge of hope for a lot of people. It's going to build beautiful communities for conscious people, which I'm hoping for. And it's been my absolute pleasure to share this moment with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Melisa. Please share in the chat links to your poetry. It would be awesome. And Melisa writes the most beautiful poetry, as you've heard. And yes, give her a follow. Give her a follow. She's great. So thank you, Melisa. Let's go to who wants to be next? Who wants to plug their social media? Should we go to Komal? Go to Komal. You there, Komal? No. We'll go to Kavi. Kavi's there. I can see Kavi is there. Oh, Komal's appeared now. We'll go to Komal first, and then we'll go to Kavi.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say that I enjoyed moderating, being a part of this conversation. I really had fun. I got to learn a lot. I got to think about the questions myself as well. So that was a good reflection. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for being here. I hope I hope most of the questions weren't very difficult for all of you, except for the one which Simon particularly found very difficult. But yeah, I really enjoyed speaking to all of you. Let's stay connected. Let's talk more. See how we can connect, collaborate. Great.
Thank you, Komal. Komal, you did a great job. I really appreciate it. You're an excellent facilitator. Thank you so much. You brought the difficult questions. Kavi?
Okay, I think I've already actually spoken a lot, but then there's one thing that I kind of missed. Komal, you were a beautiful, beautiful moderator today, because the way how you kind of brought in all the words that kind of brought us back to union. The way how you kind of took the whole, how to say, every single thing that we spoke kind of was connected to union, and the way how you kind of summed it up, it was beautifully done, and I just want to like appreciate you for it because it was really good.
Thank you. How sweet.
So I think, yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. People are
Yeah.
reluctant. Dr. Sai has to go now, so thank you for being here, Dr. Sai. It was really good to have you here as well. So thank you very much. Excellent. Melisa has shared her Instagram as well. Awesome. Thank you. And I hope to see your poetry on Union as well. It'll be very nice. No one has posted a poem yet, Melisa. I deliberately didn't. So feel free to be the first person to post a poem.
Sure.
I'll let you have that honor, Melisa, for being awesome. Thank you. Rohini?
Yeah, lastly, I would like to just thank all of you. I mean, first of all, thank you, Simon, for starting this and for bringing us all together. Like big kudos to you, and I'm really, really grateful that I, that got in touch. I mean, we got in touch with each other, and of course, it's been a year that we got in touch on LinkedIn, and of course, the end result is this, and I'm really happy to see the end result, which is beautiful. And I really like to thank Komal to moderate this really, really nicely. Absolutely, the kind of questions, very beautiful questions, yet very simple, but hard to answer for everybody. So it just makes you wonder that what the simple, this felt like when somebody says, I'm having a difficulty, I'm facing this and I'm facing that, and when one person comes to you, you know what, I know a solution. You'll be like, what? Just breathe. They'll be like, yes. It's like people forget to breathe. People forget to sort of, it's not like forget to breathe that they're not breathing. Of course they breathe. But it's just that forget to, that be grateful that they're breathing. So that sort of question is very simple, but yet brings out the best answers and brings out the best dialect when we talk about mental health, which is very important. And Melisa, thank you so much for your poem. It was really, really beautiful to see. And you have this, beautiful smile on your face, which I see, and it's just so nice to see you working really hard on it. And I would definitely follow you for your work, and everybody else. Even your team. Thank you so much, Simon and Kavi, and of course, Dr. Sai is gone. But it was really nice to connect with you all, and I would love to be in touch with you all to be, by whatever means, by just to keep in touch, or just to collaborate, or just to work more, or maybe create more awareness. So I think that's what, where we can just keep doing that. And lovely. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes.
It's lovely, Rohini. Thank you so much. And I definitely agree with that. I'm sure we'll have many more conversations. We should do, some kind of events from time to time. It would be nice to do this again. I really enjoyed doing this. It was very, very nice. I found it very rewarding, and it's so lovely to connect with new people. Like most of the beauty of the experience of making Union has been finding amazing people and getting to work together and talk together. And it's a really great experience. You've all been fantastic. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for showing up and for bringing your wonderful selves to our event. And yeah, stay tuned for Union. We've got lots of new features that are in the pipeline over the next months. We've got lots of exciting things that we're doing. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting few months kind of building up the community and seeing how it goes. But yeah, your support is very much appreciated. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to hang back and be the last person to leave. So feel free to leave whenever you like.
All the very best for everything, and would be absolutely, please let me know. Of course, we're going to reach out. Of course, I'm going to reach out to you in person as well. That how can we really, spread the word and alienate more people and just align more people for this community for sure. But if at all you consider, you think that, that I could be of help, please feel free to reach out as well. And to everyone as well, that it's just really nice to keep in touch. And I'm one of those people who I like to, start a random conversation with random, at random time as well, because it just brings out the best in you. Sometimes it just, that's what you're looking for. So yeah, just all the very best, everybody. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rohini. Thank you so much. It's been great to have you here and to meet you eventually. It's been very, very nice. So thank you so much. I'm sure we'll have many conversations, and likewise, feel free to reach out to me at any time. And one of the beautiful things is getting to talk to people and getting to hear from people. And one thing I should have mentioned, if any of you have any specific ideas for Union, I'm all ears. I love hearing ideas. If when using the app you think, oh, I wish we had this in the app, then I will very much take it seriously and evaluate it. And the best ideas win, I like to say. So we'll implement anything that helps people that's viable, essentially. So Union is about everyone, and it's an app to help people. It's for everyone, and that involves people giving us feedback and telling us what they want. So yes, please, if you see anything that you want, let me know and I'll try and implement it. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a really great evening. We're all in different places around the world in different time zones, but I hope you have a really great evening and start to your week. And thank you so much for being here, everyone. And I hope that we all get to speak again soon.
Thank you so much. I'm going to leave as well, but just before going, I wanted to say, take care, Kavi. I think I've been looking at you. You've been sneezing a lot and coughing a lot. I hope you're well and you take care of yourself and keep that contagious smile intact.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all. Thank you so much, Komal. And
Thank
thank you, Melisa. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Rohini.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Take care, Rohini. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, everyone.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.